Terry Koshan and Steve Simmons of the Toronto Sun here on Media Day at Ford Performance Center as the Maple Leafs open camp on a sessions tomorrow. And Steve, obviously the big news of the day is William Nylander will start at center for the on-ice sessions tomorrow. And as Coach Sheldon Keefe said to us, this is not going to be a temporary thing. They want to give it some time. What are your thoughts on seeing number 88 play up the middle?
Well, my first thought was that Brad Treliving has had influence in making this decision, the new general manager of the Leafs. And one of the things Treliving had in Calgary was strength, 1, 2, 3 down the middle. And I think he wouldn't mind to have something similar here with the Maple Leafs. And moving him at the same time also takes the conversation away from whether William Nylander is going to sign, when he's going to sign, how he's going to sign, that whole situation. So it kind of does two things at once. My other thought on this is maybe this is the time to look at John Tavares as a winger. And I think maybe they think that their best option as a team going forward is to have Nylander at center, Tavares on the wing, and see how that works rather than what they've done in the past.
I think we can agree, too, that another item of interest in the camp is going to be how the salary cap ends up working out for Brad Treliving if there are no injuries. One of the areas that's going to impact that is goaltending. Once you get past Elias Samsonov, you have Martin Jones, a veteran, coming in. Joseph Wall competing for that backup job, proving last year he can do it. What are your thoughts on how that goaltending picture looks for the Leafs, considering that either of them would need waivers to go to the Toronto Marlies?
Yeah, first off, what you have to realize is that almost every team in the league has 3 goalies. That's what they're doing now. And every team in the league, or a majority, have salary cap issues. So no matter which of the 3, and I presume it's either Wall or Jones, gets sent down when camp ends, that guy would possibly be claimed, but may not get claimed because teams are in the same situation with 3 goalies and with salary cap issues. So I think the Leafs are banking here on the marketplace working properly. If I'm gonna guess right now, I think you'll see Samsonov starting, you'll see Wall as the backup, and you'll see Jones start the season with the Marlies. And again, goalies are a day away from an injury all the time, the way they play now, the crazy style they play, guys are getting hurt all the time. But, I think Jones comes into camp, in my mind, as number 3.
Okay. Last thing I want to ask you is, Nylander aside, that center position aside, the goaltending aside, what else intrigues you about with camp starting tomorrow on the ice, the new players, that sort of thing?
Well, I think, first of all, the 1, 2, 3 possibility at center intrigues me if you can find enough wingers to build 3 lines and go with sort of a 9-3 instead of a 6-6, which lots of teams are trying to do these days. The left wing, how left wing's going to play out on this team in camp? Where does Bertuzzi end up? Where does Nyes end up? Where does Domi end up? Who plays where? What happens with Nick Robertson? There's a lot of intrigue, there's a lot of guys who are NHL players, can be NHL players. Where do they end up and in what spots in this lineup? To me, that's the most interesting forward question at camp to be settled.
Well, there is a sense of optimism, as there always is in Leafs camp, and that was certainly relayed to us by the players this morning, the ones who were made available. On a session to start Thursday, continue with that Friday, first preseason game in Ottawa on Sunday afternoon. For Steve Simmons, I'm Terry Koshan reporting from the Toronto Sun.